Welcome in Tuesday edition, Blue Sky Live here with you today. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio. Ole Miss players reporting to preseason camp today. Tomorrow, we get our first look at the 2024 Rebels. Get viewing in the morning. Going to talk to Lane Kiffin. Going to talk to probably a good number of players. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll bring you that content. Be opinions on the podcast here at MPW Digital. And then the content at rebelgrove.com as we move forward. Football season, for all intents and purposes, has arrived at this point. So we'll hit some of those things today.
Or for all intensive purposes.
Yeah,
I've read that before.
Yeah, all intensive purposes.
All intensive purposes.
He fell out of the truck and hit his head on the curve. CURVE. That one happened back in the day.
Well, that was for one person, but I have read intensive purposes from multiple people before.
Well, I mean, it is very detail, serious purposes. Like, yes, I mean,
intensive purposes.
I'm just saying. I mean,
it'll make you lose your mind.
Not typical and not and not and incorrect are two totally different things. Just saying. Oh God. So
I mean, you will absolutely lose it when you read that.
Lose it. We'll hit those things. Got a few things going on around college athletics, as there always is, because it's a circus at this point as we are closing out the month of July. So we'll get on to that in a minute. First, Blue Sky locations, they're out in Mississippi, up and down I-55. They're out in North Mississippi as well. You know about the lunch specials, $5.69, couple sides bread, any size fountain drink here in Oxford, and then Sweet Daddy's locations all over the state of Mississippi. Ribs, pulled pork, side items, desserts, and plenty more. Let them take care of dinner, lunch for you. Even call ahead. They'll wrap the ribs up, have them ready to go, wet or dry, your choice. They're with Blue Sky throughout Mississippi. And again, coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. Right to the bottom line, no hassle, no haggle. You get your quote. The rest is up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do, and that's hop into a Clark Ford today. You will love the product. You will love the service. Corey and the people at Clark Ford, they really want to build a relationship with you. They want to be your car guy, your truck guy. They'll prove it when you make the call, 662-257-1900. Guest will join on the Campbell Clinic hotline. From fractures and sports injuries to complex spine and limb conditions. Their pediatric orthopedic physicians at Campbell Clinic in Oxford are the only specialized pediatric orthopedic team in North Mississippi providing expert care for growing bodies. So visit campbellclinicoxford.com to schedule an appointment or call 901-759-3111.
I got on this morning, published a story on Rebel Grove about experience on the offensive side of the ball for Ole Miss, snap counts at the different positions and whatnot. And I used just FBS snaps, obviously. A couple people would ask me other things. I didn't do anything about FCS or JUCO or anything else. You were just FBS. One thing that I did have to answer this morning, Deion Smith, I listed but put an asterisk next to his name because he is not currently on the roster. Lane Kiffin at SEC Media Days gave a inconclusive answer as to what his availability would or would not be this fall. And then I'm sure that question will come up tomorrow probably for Lane again, as Deion is, again, not currently on the roster as we are here on Tuesday morning. But what? Go ahead.
When does the fall semester start?
The 24th, 21st, I don't know, somewhere around there. We got 3 weeks-ish.
As of this morning, he's not on the roster.
As of 6:15, when I was writing that story, he was not listed among Ole Miss wide receivers on the official roster.
Okay,
that is correct.
I mean, if he's not on the roster tomorrow morning, it is worth noting.
Yes.
Now,
he was taking classes this summer.
JUCO classes.
That is correct. Yes. Or classes at a junior college. Yes.
Could he report and practice and enroll in fall's classes, or does he have to be, how does that work for freshmen who are, because we don't do this anymore. Back in the day, freshmen would show up for camp even though classes had not started. They were on the roster.
As long as you're enrolled, I assume you can practice, and as long as you're admitted and everything is kosher and you have a schedule. Yeah.
I will say this.
Okay.
I think if you're
let me say this, is that Eddie I would say.
If you're a fan, that's right, Seth.
Yes.
Let
me say that.
If you're a fan and you're counting on Deion Smith to be a major contributor, I think it's a real risky thing to do with your heart. If you're hoping that perhaps he is a cherry on top of an ice cream sundae,
Sure.
awesome. But if you are hoping that he is the ice cream that makes up that sundae, I think there's a real chance that you have.
You're saying he can't be the heavy cream you put into the machine when you were making the said ice cream?
I think counting on that would be a mistake. I do. I mean, how long have we been doing this game?
Because he
again, and this started. There was a warning sign a long time ago with him. As good as he clearly was on the field,
sure,
LSU went peace.
Yeah, it's this deal where he was trying to pass enough to get eligible or be whatever that is.
Was he trying?
The intent was to get eligible with Deion Smith taking classes.
The intent of others was for him to get eligible.
And then also, I think...
And you know what? Here we are. No, I'm going to say this. We're in this NIL era now where the kids get paid. We don't have to protect them anymore. He won't go to class.
And then...
He won't go to class. That's his problem. His basic problem academically since his first year at LSU is that he won't go to class. Now, if that makes me persona non grata at practice tomorrow, so be it. But that's his problem. He won't go to class. And so if you don't go to class, it's really hard to get it done.
From a sourcing standpoint on my side, it's that to the point they had two goals. It was to get him eligible, which would be goal one, A, get him here and then figure the rest out. And then B, potentially find, and I get this is the next step that you got to get to, was to see if you could get any buffer that would help him remain eligible into January
if you made
for potential
postseasons.
Right. Because that's one thing nobody really talks about much as you move into this. Is football is the one sport that's a little weird where you have to be eligible on both sides.
Right.
Of the academic calendar because your season runs into it for the postseason.
For example, Spencer Sanders last year was ineligible for the bowl game had he wanted to play in the bowl game.
Yes.
His commitment to his education.
And look, in the portal era, that's very relevant. Guys have to remain eligible for January bowl games if they choose to play in them.
Yes.
Playoff games, whatever.
Yes.
So there was a multi-tiered thing, but it appears we're still on A tier as far as I can tell.
Just the first playoff games, December the 20th. By then,
grades are in.
You know what you made or didn't make in the fall semester.
That's correct.
And so if you flunked, you're ineligible for the said game on December the 20th or 21st because you're no longer an eligible student athlete.
That's correct. But yes, as in Neal's metaphor, whatever he was doing over there a minute ago, from a wide receiver standpoint, the actual ice cream is obviously Trey and Jordan, and then you hope Juice if you're Ole Miss.
Yeah, well, I think Juice Wells is very important.
Yes, I do too.
I mean, I think if you're listing 10 most important players, he's on that list.
Because look, I wrote this. Could there be a walk-on or something that play? I just did the best I could of what players to list and what not to list from a roster standpoint. But they're wide receivers. Aiden Williams, we'll see. Talented as all hell. Second year.
Very talented.
What I'm trying to do is not criticize him because, frankly, I'm kind of sick of the instant gratification that's necessary that if a kid doesn't play day one, he's a bust. When 10, 15 years ago, we were used to redshirt sophomores being really good.
All the time.
I mean, Brian Bennett, those kind of guys that turned into really capable players at the college level.
Sure.
That it took a minute. Now, the problem now is they all transfer out when it takes a minute. But anyway, Aiden, Juice, Trey, Jordan. Devin Price transferred in. He has played a little football. North Texas kid.
Okay.
Caden Lee. You and I both really like Caden Lee. I think on a lot of Ole Miss teams, we'd be really talking about Caden Lee, but they're more talented and better than a lot of the teams that we've covered in the past. Narelle White.
I hear good things.
Yeah. Jordan Smart has played, transfer in, and then Deion Smith. That is your wide receiver rotation for this season. And I may have got them mixed up. It might be the other kids from North Texas, but either way.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Yes. It's okay.
Whatever.
I don't have to learn it yet.
No,
it's okay.
I don't know that you ever have to learn it. Half the rosters are transferred. Just let it go.
If I have to learn those two guys' names, something went a little sideways at some point. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or they really took off.
They really took off one or the other.
Yeah. So you're sitting here looking at, I mean, in their minds, guys who have proven themselves to whatever degree. Juice, Trey, Jordan, and Caden Lee is a first four.
Yeah.
And then if you get Aiden and whatever that looks like, it's a good group.
And there is a wide receiver from Utah State who just got in the portal, and some Ole Miss coaches began following him. I'm sure other coaches are following him as well. So I don't know what that does or does not mean for Ole Miss. I mean, if he's out there tomorrow, it'll mean that, hey, you got him. And if he's not, it'll mean that he hasn't decided yet or that he decided to go elsewhere.
So he can be eligible right now.
Yes, because of the Blake Anderson thing.
Oh, okay.
He had 30 days.
I got you. That's right.
So apparently he did.
What happened? Do we know there?
Yeah. Allegedly.
Okay.
There was.
This is one of the few times where I think you actually mean that when you say it. You know, a lot of times we say allegedly so we don't get sued.
Well, in this
I
case,
feel like this case you actually kind of believe the allegedly.
A little bit.
Okay.
So allegedly there was a sexual assault type allegation that was made.
Okay.
And allegedly he talked to the alleged victim.
Okay.
Allegedly to talk her out of filing the charges. That has been disputed pretty aggressively. But because of that, he was let go.
Really?
Yeah. It is an awfully sensitive topic on college campuses, as you know.
And a guy whose life has taken such a different turn in the last 5 years.
Yes.
Just so many ways.
Yeah, he's had a rough go.
Yeah. A guy that I think had some different situations happen would have been an SEC candidate at a lot of places.
Based on some of the hirings that he's made legally in his defense, I think that he is planning to put up quite a vigorous defense.
For anybody,
but that receiver's in the portal. There again, okay. Ole Miss coaches started following him. That might or might not mean something. I'm guessing other coaches followed him as well.
You didn't go through and look.
It was 10 o'clock. I was like, I'm too tired for this. Honestly,
cross check and reference who his last 100 followers.
The decision I had to make was, do I get out of the bed to go do this? And the answer that I came up with quite quickly was no.
Okay, it'll keep.
I mean, if he shows, he shows.
For anyone perusing our free boards at rebelgrove.com, by the way, we had a bunch of spam issues going on with a bot essentially creating free accounts. I need to go in and delete the ones that have happened, but it has been corrected. There have been a filter put on our message boards to prevent that from happening. So I know it was bothering a few people. If so, then we are at a point where I think we're in better shape there from that standpoint. The one thing too here is the wide receiver thing we kind of knew, and it was pointed out on the board. They have a lot. Now, look, they've got some upper transfers. You come in, SEC, transitions, blah, 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 all that stuff. They've got a lot of experience on that offensive front. Like, we do think it's probably better. You don't know how it's going to mesh together. Don't know exactly what it's going to look like. You don't know who's going to play, who they're going to try to move into different spots. But when you just simply look at the list of players, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys who have played at least 800 career snaps on that offensive line. I mean, that's essentially a two deep of guys who have played more than a season where you start and play every snap. I mean, I get that it depends what kind of offense you're is, how many games that is. But from just a straight snap camp standpoint, that's a lot of what it is experience and the ability to play and the ability to understand what you're into and your heart rate slowed down. Jaden Williams, 1264. Julius Below, 1,056. Caleb Warren, 3,243. Reeks McIntyre, 700. Pettis, 1,400. Diego Pounds, 800. Jarquan Scott, 2,500. Kalepo, 1,200. Acker, 900. Jeremy James, 3,400. I mean, it's a lot of freaking snaps on the offensive front.
It's where I think they have a chance to be significantly better. And I wrote this on Sunday. They better be. If the goal is to win a championship, they have to be better up front than they were a year ago. And they should be, but they have to be significantly better. They had some games last year where they were adequate up front, and that won't be enough. And, hey, they got to replace Quinshon Judkins. I might be the only person on the beat that is not glossing over that.
No, look, this is...
There's this thing where it's like, well, you know, he was a pain in the ass. Okay. And he was.
No doubt.
He was really good.
He was really good.
And there were some games, including the last game,
Toted the mail.
where they really leaned on Quinshon Judkins.
They had to have him. Their quarterback was telling the head coach to get him out of the game, and Lane said, I got nobody to go to.
And he carried it, I think,
Deal with it. 34 times.
34 times.
Yes.
Just saying. That's a real number.
Yeah.
I mean, there were issues almost from the word go last year with Quinshon. But there also were some games like Arkansas comes to mind. If you remember that game, Dart got hit in that game, was hobbled. They had some wide receiver issues.
They kind of just leaned on him and let him.
And he got it done.
Yeah.
And that game, they trailed in the fourth quarter, Chase.
Yeah. That 4th and 1.
There was
whatever it was.
I mean, there were some moments in the season where they really leaned on him, and he delivered. I'm not saying that he's not replaceable or that his loss is the end. I'm not saying that at all. But I do think there is a temptation among people who cover this team to gloss over it. And so to replace him, I think you have to do it in a number of ways. You have to improve your passing game. You have to be better up front. And you have to have some running backs step up.
And when they line up, forget even Furman, week 3 against Wake Forest. Power 4 team.
Sure.
I mean, look, they've lost there before. 2008. Let's all hope that's not a repeat. I'm taking the day off if so. But they...
No, you're not. No. No.
Got a flu coming on.
There'll be somebody hunting you down at your house.
Their running backs on that day when they line up to play Wake Forest, Henry Parrish, 1,179 total snaps. We know Henry's been around, went to Miami. He's back.
Sure.
Ulysses Bentley has struggled to stay healthy, can be really dynamic at times when he's healthy. Dominique Thomas played 67 snaps at Clemson over 2 seasons. He went to Georgia State, but he never played at Georgia State. He's a Clemson transfer for all purposes. Rashad Amos, he's from Miami of Ohio, and he's played 459 snaps at Miami of Ohio in his career.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt Jones. That's the running back room. Because Logan Diggs doesn't exist yet. No. And Logan Diggs may not exist. I don't know. He
tore his ACL on January the 1st.
He was in the bowl game.
I mean, I was listening to a Thunder podcast this morning on my cool down after my run. And Nikola Topic, their first-round draft choice, just had the ACL surgery last week. So for kicks and giggles, let's call it July the 25th.
Okay.
They're hopeful that he can kind of start doing some basketball-ish drills in March. They're hopeful that he plays in the summer league in late June. I realize it's not apples to apples. It's different sports and the whole shooting match, but there's no guarantee that Logan Diggs is contributing in the middle of October or contributing well.
Because you know how we do this. We do it. It's the positivity that comes with when we compare players. We always pick this superstar or this really high-level player. I mean, it's been my long-time running thing. We don't take a linebacker and go, you know what? Their ceiling might be Jolon Dunbar. That's awesome.
Yeah,
you don't do that.
No one does that.
Yeah, so like there's that. And then it's, well, okay, if that goes textbook, when is he back?
Right.
Oh, well, he's back like 4th week of the year. Cool.
And there's a chance that it goes textbook.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do that, then
it's the Tommy John thing of, hey, he's going to be ready to pitch in 12 months. It's like,
I mean, someone gave me a stat yesterday. I haven't checked it out.
Uh-huh.
It was a person whose son had torn his ACL.
Yeah.
Said that 30% of ACL grafts tear in the first 2 years.
Yeah. And this person was educated far beyond just that. But yes.
100%.
Yeah. I don't know.
I
mean, I can't rule. I mean, sure. I don't know.
I can't sit here and go, that's right or that's wrong, but I'm going to take, I will lean.
I would trust their opinion over my opinion or your opinion.
Yes, I lean towards it's right. So, is he back in 1st of November? Maybe.
Somebody's asking what podcast you listen
to. Today I was listening to Down to Dunk.
Okay.
I like Andrew Schlecht, his stuff.
Down to Dunk is a Thunder podcast.
It is. And then he's got
What is that a playoff of?
I don't know. It's been their deal forever.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's actually a guy that I'd like to get on the podcast sometime because he went from just doing a blog on the Thunder to now being a huge part of the Athletics NBA coverage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a fascinating story.
Huh.
He does the Saturday morning NBA Slam and Jam for the Athletic podcast.
Okay.
Which is all over the place. It covers the whole league.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just anyway.
Yeah.
I think he's really talented.
Anyway, I got a couple of things on this. We'll get to it in a second. We'll come back. I'll tell you first about the Ole Miss Athletics Foundation. They want to thank you for their incredible 2023-24 athletics season, because it's possible that's you, the fan. Fall sports are right around the corner. I can't wait to get you back on campus soon. 2024 men's and women's basketball season ticket and donation renewal deadline is August 31st. Again, we got one more month, but get on that. And if you want to get your priority points up before seating or parking selections, call the Ole Miss Athletics Foundation at 662-915-7159. Further information, visit give2athletics.com. That's GIVETO athletics.com.
My post-game columns this season will be presented by Window Hero. From window cleaning to pressure washing, gutter cleaning, gutter guards, and everything in between, Window Hero has the experience, equipment, and expertise to make your property look and feel brand new. If you're in North Mississippi, let Window Hero make your home or business's exterior look amazing. Their experts are fully bonded and insured. Window Hero provides specialized equipment, exclusive cleaning solutions, a satisfaction guarantee, and they can clean up to 4 stories on buildings. Window Hero has locations in Oxford, Tupelo, Pontotoc, Holly Springs, New Albany, and more. Roby and Susan Allen dedicated to helping Oxford and all of North Mississippi with their windows, gutters, and everything in between. So call Window Hero at 662-510-7077 to get an estimate. Learn more at windowhero.com. Ole Miss grads Hunter and Mimi Simpson formed Southern Q Sauce Craft Barbecue Sauce. Southern Q Sauce is crafted by hand in small batches to capture that tangy, sweet, and smoky taste with just enough heat. The original recipe features the deep South flavors of apple cider vinegar, sweet brown sugar, tomato, and hickory. It's a blend of Tennessee, Mississippi, and the Carolinas with a sweet, smoky finish. Southern Q Sauce also has a variety of rubs, from Old Faithful, which is an all-purpose rub, to Old Smoky, Honey Pecan, the Clucker, and the Longhorns. Whether you're a professional pitmaster or an occasional backyard chef, Southern Q Sauce has the sauces and rubs to have your friends and family coming back for more. Check it out for yourself. Go to southernqsauce.com. Use the discount code Rebel Grove. That's Rebel Grove, all caps, one word, for 15% off your order. Are you retiring soon? How long should you wait to take Social Security? What accounts should you pull from first? Are you already retired? Should you consider Roth conversions? These are just some of the questions that can only be answered with a personalized retirement income plan. Andrew Seago with Seago Wealth Management specializes in helping folks just like you come up with their retirement game plan. Whether you meet at his office in Collierville or prefer Zoom from anywhere, schedule a free discovery meeting and see what they can do for you. It's rebelsretire.com. And we're brought to you by Grenada Home Center. They've got paint by Benjamin Moore, Pittsburgh Paint, Farrell Calhoun, flooring of any and all types, stone countertops, whether you're looking for granite, quartz, or anything else. And they've got window treatments from plantation shutters to whatever else suits your fancy. It's Grenada Home Center, 1301 Sunset Drive, Suite H in Grenada. Call them at 662-226-3127.
Let's see. We did that. We did the running backs there for the snap counts. Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, we don't know what it's going to look like. And the stream makes a good point. Adrian Peterson and Cam Akers did tons of PR harm to the normal ACL recovery because you get these outliers in some ways. And I mean, there aren't many people on earth ever that have been built like Adrian Peterson is currently built or was built.
We met Adrian Peterson's dad. His son, I think their youngest son, is a high school recruit. He came and visited Ole Miss at one of the junior day thingies. And, he's a quarterback in Dallas.
Okay.
I think Skyline. Don't hold me to that. It doesn't matter. But it does matter. Doesn't matter necessarily to this conversation.
Devontae Kincaid's high school?
For some reason, that sounds right. I could be wrong.
Okay.
Dallas. I know that.
Sure.
Dallas.
Metroplex.
And it was Adrian Peterson's dad was there.
Okay.
And we were starting to talk about Adrian. And, I mean, the dad admits that, like, we don't know where he got that. Just
That's
when God was making him, he went, you know what? Here. And he's incredible, right? I mean, he's a special athlete. So, yeah, probably not going to recover like that. Kobe was that way. Kobe Bryant would come back from, like, they basically would saw his body in half and he would just come back until the Achilles.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, different people are going to heal different ways. And Logan Diggs might end up being a fast healer. Maybe October the 7th, he's out running and looks like $1 gazillion playing against his former team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hope so. I hope.
Yeah.
I cheer for every kid on every team to come back as quick as possible because I know how hard they work to get to that place, and the injuries suck.
Yeah, of course.
If I see a kid go down for Texas Tech on TV, I always feel sick for him. I see soccer kids go down, and it's just like, damn, man. I mean, you only have a window of time to play, and then you lose
Well, I
it.
mean, look, it's a complete and utter business, but I mean, I felt like crap for Sam Williams the other day.
Sure.
Put all that offseason in, and you got
course.
there, and you're just non-contact, pal.
Of course. Sucks. Absolutely sucks. So, but maybe he comes back quick. But I think if you're going to do like at some point in the August, I'll write best case, worst case.
Yeah.
If you're going to do best case, you got to do worst case. And then the truth is usually
what
somewhere
record are
in the
you
middle.
giving on worst case? Because best case is 11-1, 12-0.
Yeah, I mean, best case is this year.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the first year that I'm at least contemplating writing 12-0 as best case. Now, if I'm going to do worst case, and I'm just doing this in my head.
No, it's fine.
I'm not committing to this. So before everybody sends me the nasty emails, hang on.
This is a workshop.
I mean, I think worst case is you go to South Carolina looking ahead and get beat.
Mm-hmm.
You panic, you lose at LSU, and now you're in trouble. You lose to Oklahoma at home. You lose to Georgia, obviously. And then maybe you drop one of those other 2 road games because your season's you're not playing for the same things anymore, and you catch somebody on a hot day, and Fayetteville 2022 happens again, either in Fayetteville or Gainesville or something like that. I mean, I think that's worse.
Because worst case is this snowball effect where the portal guys don't care, and suddenly Dart gets banged up, and it just is a nightmare.
Well, I mean, if I told you that they had 2 losses after LSU, you're not making the playoffs at that point. Realistically, you're not. And so suddenly you're not playing for the same things.
Mm-hmm. The hard thing with best case, worst case is that what level of worst case are you doing? You know what I mean? Because like it almost kind of takes the thought process out if you go, well, everybody gets hurt. Well okay. But like
no, I don't do that. I mean, I mean, in whenever
I think it has to be like 7 and 5.
I think worst case is 7 and 5. In my mind, that's kind of where I go.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you have to work to get them to 7 and 5. But
you've got to kind of
But you know, I mean, I could paint.
You lose the 3 ones that are coin flips in our minds as we're doing or whatever we're doing here, and then 2 others. And you go,
but I mean, like, if you told me that if the football gods came down and said they lost at South Carolina, I'd be like, son bitch, they were looking ahead.
Mm-hmm.
It happens. It happens every year to somebody. Now, it hasn't happened to Lane Kiffin's teams.
No.
Doesn't mean that it won't.
Yeah.
But if we're doing worst case, the best case argument is, are you willing to, even in a best case, do the Georgia thing? A team that hasn't lost in 3 years and that beats you by 35 points and is better this year than they were a year ago. I mean, privately, here's the scary part. If you hate Georgia, privately, people inside that building who are normally kind of skeptical are like, this is his best team.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he'll win, because I think people around Nick Saban will tell you that his best team didn't win. But people around Georgia are like, this is Kirby's best team.
Yeah.
And then, like, decide what you will with FPI. It's a computer. I'm not a computer expert. But FPI has Ole Miss at 7.9 wins. FPI. It's got them at basically as an 8-4 team. It's got Georgia, Oregon, Texas, Ohio State, Alabama in the top 5. Alabama, by the way, at 9.3 wins.
The weird one with the FBI is that Ole Miss is like this weird outlier compared to everybody else that's also in the top of the polls too.
Yeah, it's got Penn State, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Missouri next, followed by Florida State, Michigan, LSU, Texas A&M, Clemson, Ole Miss at 16. Kansas, USC, Auburn, Florida. Florida, interestingly, is 6.9 wins. And I think if you're doing wild cards, Florida's one of the wild cards. Like,
Sure.
Everybody's going, they're going to suck. Maybe they do.
Their schedule is hard.
It's hard.
More than anything else.
They've got Kentucky at 6.2 wins. I'm just looking down the list. I need my glasses again. Iowa at 5.6 wins, which is kind of a surprise. North Carolina at 4.7 wins. Arkansas 4.6 wins. Mississippi State 3.5 wins. Boy, that'd be rough. 3.5. So, yeah.
And then Ole Miss really, really, really likes its tight end room as we head into camp. Prescorn, 1,749 snap counts. He's healthy. Was not healthy for a good bit of last season. And then the Virginia Tech transfer, Daquan Wright, 571 in his career with the Hokies.
Rave reviews on Wright. Like, to the point, and they're cautiously optimistic about Hudson Wolf right now.
Yeah.
To the point that there's a lot of talk about 2 and 3 tight end sets.
Look, Hudson looked really good when he was healthy. He just had a lot of bad luck from an injury standpoint.
It's kind of like the Ulysses Bentley thing.
Mm-hmm. Just fingers and hands and stuff.
When Bentley's healthy, he's a very good back.
Yeah.
He's not always healthy. And there's a track record of it now. It doesn't mean that this year won't be his first healthy year.
The best availability is availability.
But it does mean that he's had a history of injuries. And so when you're evaluating his value, you have to consider the fact that his body has betrayed him.
And then, as is the case with most programs around the country, Jackson Dart, 2,241 snaps, Walker Howard, 36, Austin Simmons, 1, and they have A.J. Maddox on campus as a freshman. But, I mean, look, that's the real – Dart is in year 3 with Kiffin in the headset until 15 seconds on the play clock with 2,200 career snaps.
Same offensive coordinator during the week all week.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of continuity there.
It puts you in a really good spot.
A lot of ability to communicate effectively.
I saw this. Switch topics a little bit.
And by the way, when people do if Dart gets hurt, I'm like, okay, well, we can do that with everyone.
That's seriously.
I mean, I hate that argument.
Every team in the country outside of maybe one that I can't think of off the top of my head.
Well, Texas is the one that
maybe.
Well, I've talked to enough people that I'm going to start believing the consensus.
Are you really?
Yeah. That he's legit.
I don't know where to fall on this because and it's where.
But now he's not yours right now.
It's such a hot button topic that we go to extremes like we do with everything else in media and society. Is very, very good, no doubt.
Right.
I've always, and look, he will answer this question on the field. So we get it. It's kind of like a scoreboard.
Sure.
I'll get to know this. I've always wondered if he was Arch Jones, would he be a high 4 or would he be the number 3 player in the country? You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I just has stayed on my mind the entire time.
Although that name kind of means something because typically the people that have that name end up having kind of special characteristics.
100%.
His grandfather did.
Yeah, I'm not discounting it.
His uncle did.
Yeah.
But his other uncle did.
Yeah.
I mean,
there is a track record.
I mean, there's a real track record.
Yeah, sure.
So,
no, the benefit of the doubt to the lineage is 100% there.
Yeah.
Completely. I get that. You know, one thing I'm noticing with ADs, with people, new hires, new places, Schlossnagle at A&M, you know, he kind of criticized all the crap they did and said, I just want to coach baseball and we're going to have Diamond Girls or Rally Girls or whatever the hell they're calling them, and we're going to stop this, and this is dumb. You people don't have cheerleaders. And he was very frank about this. In hindsight, maybe even then he was going, okay, my God, I can go make a lot of money somewhere else and do this that is also going to pay players.
Really knew he was getting the Texas job pretty early on.
Maybe he knew it then. That was like mid-March, and he was still like.
I think he knew in mid-March it was possible.
Anyway, you know what? I'm just going to air my grievances at this point. But there is something to ADs and new hires and leadership at places, because this isn't always comfortable, that tell the fans what they need to hear or provide reality. And you have to do it in certain ways because you need their money, you need their support, you know, those many things. And I thought that someone who hit it really well was new Nebraska AD Troy Dannon, who was at Washington, was at Tulane, has been at a lot of places over the last couple of years here as he moves. He was talking to Andy Staples yesterday. And he was discussing Nebraska and their need to embrace just the new world of college athletics for what it is. Because Nebraska, their fans show up, they have great attendance, but they are absolutely stuck in Tommy Frazier in 1995 from an overall fan base standpoint. And he says, sometimes we romanticize the past and quit worrying about the present and what happened. And 20 years from now, the romance of college athletics is going to be today. But what had to happen, the 5 national championships Nebraska won were won under a different model and a different environment, a different era. And we're not chasing those 5 championships. We're chasing Michigan. We're chasing Ohio State. We're chasing Georgia. So what do you do to chase it? One of the things I felt we needed to do at Nebraska was get people comfortable in the fact we were going to be compensating, whether that's through NIL or whatever revenue share, maybe down the line employment, I don't know, but we're going to be compensating. It doesn't make the game worse. It doesn't make it better. It doesn't mean you turn away from it. So I'm going to need their support. Today I need it in NIL. Next year I'm going to need it in revenue sharing model, and I need it to not be about what happened in the 90s. Troy Dannon.
I mean, good for him.
That was good right there.
I mean, you ain't wrong.
That's pretty good.
Well, you know, I mean, it cost me my job, but this is what I wrote about at Alabama back when I was a columnist in Mobile. When it struck me. I'd gone multiple Alabama games, obviously, but I was at a game that day when they were losing to Mississippi State. In Tuscaloosa, Sylvester Croom, Mike Shula, that era. You remember Mike Shula, the former Ole Miss coaching candidate?
I am very aware of that, yes. You know what? He was a candidate at once. I had to look into him, do a lot of research, half sober.
Pro
for
and college sources.
Yes.
The funniest.
How would that era have been? He did a good job, you think?
Ole Miss?
Yeah. You think Mike would have done a good job?
I don't know.
I think he lays in bed at night awake going, you know what? Look what Lane's doing. I could have done that.
I always wonder whether his phone rang that day with, hey, have you seen?
What the hell?
It was so bad. I'll never forget you calling. I was asleep. You call and you're like, it's on the front page. And I'm like, what is it? You're like, Shula. You're like NFL and college sources.
I was meeting you at the club because we were doing that golf fundraiser.
Oh, yeah.
That day. And I was like, I pulled up going, oh my God. Because
anyway.
Yeah.
I wrote, because Alabama's whole pregame thing was Bear Bryant. And I wrote, you just can't live off that anymore. You're not going to get back doing that. You're going to have to do a different thing. And they did. They went out and got Saban and handed him the program and kicked all the old gray hairs out of the building and gave him the keys. And in many ways, it's what Ole Miss has done, if you think about it. I mean, Ole Miss practices look different than they did years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the players, but the stuff around it.
Well, look, the program needed a transformation. Winning had to be the thing that absolute matters.
And that's harder. That's easier said than done.
Yeah. Everybody can sit there and think it and go, well, yeah, duh. But no.
Yeah, no, but we're going to eliminate all distractions.
Yeah. No, we're going to change your experience.
Yeah. You just show up on Saturday now. Pay, but show up on Saturday. That's it.
We're going to need you out of the Grove. We need you in the stadium. We're going to need you to move.
Yeah, it's different. So, I mean, I get where he's coming from.
And Nebraska might be the hardest place in the country to do that.
Because like when I was a kid, Nebraska was an elite national program.
Oh, power.
I mean, they were in it. I mean, I remember like the Nebraska-Miami games. Terry Rozier and all those guys.
And in the 90s, I mean, like I said, Frazier and Crouch and those dudes. I mean, that was part of my college football childhood. Or not childhood, but as I got older. I mean.
No, they were dominant. They were Tom Osborne.
I mean, they split the title with Michigan in 97.
The Nebraska-Oklahoma game was a national premiere.
Oh.
You didn't miss it. ABC 2:30 game of the week in
Really?
November. Absolutely. It was a big.
So that had been a Big 8 game?
Yeah. It was every bit as big as Alabama-Auburn. It was every bit as big as Ohio State-Michigan. It was a big, huge national game that usually had title ramifications. So I can see how it's harder for some of their older fans to move on from that era. It was an incredible era.
And to look up and go, what happened?
Sure.
How did we get here?
Everything changed. But they had one hell of a run.
The other thing that I saw yesterday, by the way, I'm curious how Dannon does there. I thought Washington was a really interesting place. Get into the Big Ten. I kind of thought he was going to hang there for a while. I think he wanted to live in Lincoln and wanted to give it a shot there. Mm-hmm. His career has been interesting to me, where I just kind of follow it and wonder what that looks like.
I'm really interested to see what Washington looks like in the Big Ten in 5 years, because they might be awesome.
You would buy Washington, not Oregon?
No, I think I'd buy Oregon, not Washington.
Okay. Is that just because of Lanning, or is that program-wide?
It's Lanning and Phil Knight.
Okay.
Well, that's what we're talking about. I mean, if Phil Knight were a Nebraska booster, this guy's job would be easier.
Yeah.
I mean, it would.
I appreciated Lanning swiping back at Kirby when Kirby made the Phil Knight dig the other day, going, "Oh, shut up! Like, give me a freaking break!"
Right.
Like,
yeah, I've been where you are.
Yeah,
champ.
you of all people doing the poor, pitiful me. If I only had your cash.
Yeah, stop.
I like Lanning a lot, actually. Could be wrong, but I like him a lot.
I do too. And the fact that he didn't jump to Alabama and stayed at Oregon told me something.
That he feels resources
now,
are there.
He might be waiting for Kirby to hang it up.
Mm-hmm.
He would be Georgia's first call.
Yeah, sure. And you take it and you run to Athens and you
I would
see
think.
what's what.
Well, I would think so.
Did you see this yesterday where they think that because of and I'm not talking about the dynamics of it because I'm done with that for the day, that the Big East is really excited about this potential house settlement because they just have basketball? Did you see this?
No.
Okay.
Here lately, if I see the words house
well,
settlement,
I think I have to. I agree, but there's a couple things to this. Sean Miller, the Xavier men's basketball coach, formerly at the Arizona Wildcats, he says the good thing about being in the Big East is only one sport. I shouldn't say one sport, but the importance of college basketball is at the top, and what just after happened in the landscape of college sports, it puts us in a very unique position because they're not having to give this potential 75% to football. I mean, it's the interesting part of this is that, and it's where I'm coming down line here. We don't know, but schools are operating under the potential premise, we said this last week, just a real quick refresher, that they can follow the same model that the NCAA is using to back pay the athletes, which is that of the $22 million, or whatever the number ends up being, 75% go to football players, 15% go to men's basketball, 5% go to women's basketball, and 5% goes to whatever you want it to go to otherwise.
Okay.
That is, and again, that's a generic, you can move the formula, but that's kind of the working model they're doing. Well, the Big East doesn't have football that's going to take up 75% of your money, obviously, at that point. So whatever you're doing, it's going to be very men's basketball centric. And there's Todd Golden's got a quote in here kind of griping about it. Nate Oates has got a quote in here kind of griping about it. And they're saying that because you have all these great basketball schools in the Big East that don't have football to take care of. So, yeah, that basically the SEC schools are worried about that, looking and going, hey, some of these leagues that don't, just the other side of this whole conversation we're having. And I thought this was a really telling point in a couple ways. Do we think Oates and Calipari like each other at all? It's a one word I'm taking out of a quote here, so I admit I'm reaching.
There's probably a grudging respect, I'm guessing.
Well, Oates goes on to say that Arkansas men's basketball coach John Calipari, quote, actually had a good point. And the word actually made me laugh in the quote. And I want to know the context. Was he just saying, oh, no, actually, or going, well, actually, John said something I didn't want to punch him with right now.
Somewhere in the middle. All right, my suspicion is that Oates has a grudging respect for Calipari.
Okay. But and look, I get this gripe I'm about to read. At the same time, it's one of 7,000 problems I have with the house.
This is John griping.
This is John's gripe, yes, that I'm going to read. And he says the only moneymaker the NCAA has is the men's basketball tournament. That's it. It pays the bills. So all this money the NCAA is paying out is 70% of it's going to football players. So you're going to take the money from the NCAA, where the only money they're making through the NCAA tournament in men's basketball, and then you're going to give 70% of that to the football players. What sense does that make, and how is that not asking for another lawsuit from the basketball players?
You know what? I think he's right.
I think that might be one of the better points I've heard the entire time, because the NCAA is going, no, we're going to pay it, and we're going to back pay all this stuff, but we're going to back pay 75% of the damages to football players by using the money the men's basketball tournament gave us.
Yeah.
That at least opens it up to the basketball players having a suit.
I think so. I think Cal's right.
And now the argument is the football players are the ones you took advantage. I'm using all the quotes.
I know.
Took advantage of.
Yeah.
But
the money's coming from the basketball tournament.
Yeah.
I think I agree with Cal.
I think it's at least an interpretation.
I mean, he's my coach now, so I have to.
Okay,
so,
fair.
Right. But no, I think I agree with Cal. I've actually been like on a treadmill next to him before, and he's a nice guy. He's very thoughtful. He was actually one of my he is one of my favorite opposing coaches to cover, because if you ask a couple of good questions, you will get answers. Thoughtful answers.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he was right years ago when he said Ole Miss can't keep playing in this building.
Yeah.
And then when they played in the new building, he raved about it.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, really did. I mean, I don't have any issue with Cal. I think he's right. If you're a former basketball player, you're like, well, wait, what? So you're taking the money that we technically made and you're giving it to them.
Yeah.
Well, and so to your point, it's like, yeah, but football's the engine. Yeah, but that's not where the money's coming from. Why didn't y'all play a football tournament? Could have. No one stopped you. You were the ones that were hostage to the bowl people. Here's my one house settlement thing for the day. It's got zero chance of sticking. This whole thing it's
like I said, it's supposed to kill all future lawsuits for like 10 years. Good freaking luck.
Yeah, good luck. No chance.
Which is why the judge is going to scratch her head and go,
yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That's why they're going to keep circling back to Congress going, help us. And Congress is like, we no.
Yeah. Y'all are.
Well, there's no taste for it.
No.
So, I mean, Congress can't get on the same page on anything. You want them to suddenly take that over where they don't really understand it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're a congressperson from Vermont, it's just not really worried about it.
Yeah. I'm not on that House subcommittee.
No, and I don't even know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
Seriously, if you're a congressman from Rhode Island or a congresswoman from South Dakota, are you really thinking about it? It's not even on your radar.
Mm-hmm.
So people are like, let's talk about this. It's like, it's my argument. And I've had some SEC people go, you're right, basically. It's like, you're nowhere close to the top of that of their things to deal with. And frankly, as a taxpayer, I don't really want Congress worrying about college athletics. We got bigger fish to fry, if you will.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The answer is the schools that want to break away, form their own league, and figure out a way to make them employees, collectively bargain some sort of a deal, and then go from there.
Yeah.
That is the answer. And the question is that 40 schools? Is that 60 schools? Is that 25 schools? I don't know.
Yeah. All right. More football news after the break, or college athletics news. First, Prime Shrimp. PrimeShrimp.com. A lot of different offers for you, including trying to give you a little break here as school's back in session. You've got busy nights. You got busy days. Let Prime Shrimp take care of you. Buy 5 pouches or more. Use code RG with PrimeShrimp.com. You get 25% off. That's the soy ginger. That's New Orleans style barbecue. That's the signature. There's so many different options. They got full meals in a bag, the French Quarter Alfredo, the garlic herb butter. Fewer than 10 minutes, freezer to plate with Prime Shrimp. You get restaurant quality shrimp from the New Orleans based company. So again, use code RG. You get 5 pouches or more, 25% off, primeshrimp.com.
We're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating, different names, same great products and services. We'll be bringing hand-raised guys back here pretty soon. Not this Thursday because we have football viewing, but probably the Thursday after that. We'll get rolling with that each and every week as we get closer and closer to football season. If you are in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer, 662-801-1777. If you're in Memphis, Hernando, South Haven, that surrounding area, call Southern, 662-429-4429. The College Corner is in Oxford now. Don't forget about that. If you're coming up for football season, make sure you stop by the College Corner for more than 4,000 square feet of the best Rebel gear right off of Sisk Avenue in the Oxford Commons. Plenty of parking available. Their staff's going to have you in and out, ready for the Grove in no time. collegecornerstore.com also, and there are also 2 locations in Jackson. Call Argent Wealth's 401k advisory services team today. They'll conduct a complimentary, no obligation benchmarking and analysis of your current 401k plan. Mention that you heard about Argent Wealth on BlueSky Live. You get 10% off your first year's fees. It's myargentwealth.com. And we're brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. If you are trying to plan a special trip that will create a lifetime of unique memories, get in touch with John. Give him some parameters. Give him a budget. He's going to give you options that you're not going to find on your own. And no, you don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services. 901-494-3387 or send him an email, jedwards@regencytravel.net. Oxford's newest Greek restaurant on the square, Opa, is the perfect place to plan your Christmas party, your company dinner, your festive party event. Fabulous food, great craft libations as well. They can accommodate up to 200 guests. For catering or booking information, contact Jeannie, 601-421-7147. Again, 601-421-7147. And we're brought to you by Service Specialist Staffing and Recruiting Agency, connecting great job opportunities to candidates since 1967. Yesterday, we talked about if you're looking for a job, if your company is looking to hire quality, hard-to-find talent, Service Specialists can really help. Keep in mind that payment of service is solely contingent on if you decide to hire a candidate that they send. You've got nothing to lose. So give Will, Sydney, or Kelsey a call, 601-573-9242, or check out their new and improved website, servicespecialistltd.com.
My computer is not keeping time, and it is really driving me insane. I keep having to watch phone and watch for time on our segments because my computer is wrong on my clock. I've woken up the last 3 days, and when I've opened it in the morning, it's been off.
Huh.
It currently says 8:37 a.m.
How old's that computer?
Last leg. I'm trying to hang on, and
Yeah.
I just don't like.
I understand.
I know. It's actually lasted way longer than it should have.
7 years, 8 years?
Oh, no, I don't get that out of it, but it's open 15 hours a day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 5, 6 for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pre-pandemic.
Oh, yeah, you should just give her a hug.
Really proud of it, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever it dies, you go, okay, fine.
Got your money's worth.
Yeah. It's all cool. So it's probably time. But I just keep looking and going, it's showing its age a little bit. Got a few wrinkle lines.
It happens to all of us.
It does. How would you feel if you're Joey McGuire and the big pub around your school and your collective is you gave a softball player $1 million? Texas Tech's head football coach. And yeah, look, it may have been earmarked from a donor who just wanted to win at softball. I have no idea.
Yeah, but one player?
Well, she's the best player in the country.
Well, that's true.
She better be.
Better be. I mean, I don't know.
I'm not criticizing the player at all, but okay, hold on a minute. Let me find this. This is somewhat if I'm football, I'm going because Texas Tech's in a bind here from a football standpoint.
Is she on top of being a great player? I mean, are we talking Livy Dunn here?
I couldn't pick her out of a lineup. I have no idea. I have no clue. Hold on. I had the story up. Let's see. She transferred from Stanford.
Okay.
Najari Kennedy is her name. She's joining the Red Raiders after agreeing to a $1 million plus NIL deal through the Matador Club Collective. Open Door CEO Blake Lawrence, it's absolutely unprecedented for an annual compensation for a D1 softball player. Kennedy might be getting paid more than every single softball player in her conference combined. Williams and Mandel note that the Kennedy family originally approached the Stanford-focused Lifetime Cardinal Collective. I bet it's struggling. In the spring of Kennedy's freshman season for the Cardinal in 2023, the family was seeking a seven-figure offer. By the time Stanford reached a second straight Women's College World Series last month, all parties realized a bidding war was coming for Kennedy's right arm. Red Raiders head coach Jerry Glasgow, it was different than any other recruitment I've been involved with. We had a business-like approach to it early on. It became clear NIL would be a motivating factor in the ultimate destination. Despite getting a later start than other collectives, the Lifetime Cardinal is preparing to make a much larger offer later this month that would be within shouting distance of Texas Tech's. Tech sealed the deal by rolling out the red carpet on her visit. It was absolutely amazing to see the entire athletic department, blah, blah, blah. In the minute she walked on campus, saw the beauty, fell in love, things just clicked and got the result we got. The check cleared is what happened there, bud. It wasn't that Lubbock became a garden spot.
So cynical.
The whole place helped us recruit. They came out. We rolled out the red carpet. We gave her some tortillas and some carnitas and had a
Next
blast.
thing you're going to tell me is that 20-something-year-old girl that's dating Bill Belichick that she doesn't love him for his humor and his wit and his kindness.
More money than the entire conference
He's
combined.
a very smart man. She enjoys the intellectual conversations that they have.
He is a very intelligent man.
I know.
He talked for 20 minutes about long snapping at one point last season.
See, I bet she loves to say, tell me about the history of long snapping.
What's fascinating about it
has nothing
is
to do with the fact that he's worth tens of millions of dollars.
I have no idea about Texas Tech's softball program. But
well, you just took all sorts of shots at Lubbock.
You been to Lubbock?
No.
Okay.
But, I mean, I'm sure it's beautiful.
I'm sure she chose it for its scenery and beaches and mountain ranges. So
you don't know what she was looking for.
I do, actually. Yeah, 100%. My point is, and again, I don't know where that money came from because they haven't had a lot of money for football. They have no collective that is challenging the elite of the elite by any means. And now you're giving seven figures to a softball player. And look, do whatever the hell you want. It's your call. I don't care. But I'm being fascinated by the schools that pick out a sport and go, we're going to be really good at that. You know what I mean? Because that's what's happening now is like they're picking some of the Olympic sports and different things. And look, this one player is not going to make Tech go win the national title probably. I mean, Oklahoma still exists with whatever they have going on up there.
Yeah.
Texas really good. A lot of teams really good. The SEC in softball, dear God.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just a roll.
It is 100% the toughest conference in any sport in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, I get everybody kind of made fun of Ole Miss getting in at 7-17, but the league is a complete and utter bitch. And now it includes Oklahoma and Texas on top of that.
Yeah,
who were the two best teams in the country.
The committee looked at Ole Miss and went, they won 7 games in that league. Not like they only won 7. They won 7 games.
Yeah.
Now you get to add Oklahoma to the mix.
Yeah. So the point being, I don't know what that does for you, but how do you even sort of make that this net profit deal or why? Like what is I'm being serious.
No,
like if you're the Matador Club and you go, hey, let's pay her $1 million and get that softball player.
I don't know.
I mean, do you think that because she's a pitcher, she's going to go win you the national title and that makes it worth it?
I mean, I guess if you won the national title, it might actually be worth it.
It would. Yeah, you get $1 million out of a title. Sure.
But, man, I don't know. I mean, if you're Texas Tech.
They went 29-21 last season.
So she improved.
So they don't suck. They're fine.
So she improves you by.
They went 8-16 in the Big 12, which included Texas and Oklahoma then.
Right.
But still.
Realistically, Texas Tech's chances of winning of making the 12-team playoff once in the next 10 years is what?
once in 10 years.
I mean, 5%.
Yeah, 5-10%, sure. Well, I mean, Big 12 done great. Maybe a little higher than that, but sure, 15% tops.
Got to get. They're only going to get 2 bids.
You for Texas Tech, you're trying to just win the league,
Right.
get into a title game and win it.
Something historically they've not done.
Yeah, they haven't been good enough for that outside of Mike Leach's season in 08.
I mean, where I'm going with this is like if you're in the SEC, even the teams that traditionally suck outside of Vanderbilt. If I say, what are the odds of Mississippi State, Arkansas, South Carolina making the 12-team playoff once in the next 10 years? It's higher than 5% because you're in a league that might get 5 bids every year.
Yeah, you just got to get that 1 year where you find a way to 9-3
Sure.
or whatever and take a chance.
Of course. And they can all point to the different years when they did it.
Yeah, 100%.
That's my point.
Yeah.
So I can see why a school, middle to bottom of the Big 12 SEC goes, hey, you know what? I mean, ACC goes, you know what? Maybe we should invest in other stuff. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate a little bit. Maybe investing in football's a fool's errand right now. And especially if you think,
look, maybe
if you think this breakaway is going to happen.
This only works if you, A, think you can win a title, or B, think that it is going to elevate your program in some way that you're going to get additional compensation off of it. Because even if I had $1 million for softball, I could go buy 10 players.
Sure. I would think.
I'm assuming. But
God, I would hope so.
Yeah. I could go put a squad together probably with $1 million in softball. I'm assuming, but
I would think so. I think Oklahoma's investment is about half of that, and they've put one hell of a squad together. I think so.
But I mean, Texas A&M, they've taken over women's tennis because they've just, by God, decided they're going to be really, really good in women's tennis for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I mean, Ole Miss's best women's tennis player went to A&M on NIL and is playing their number 3 or number 4 over there. But they decided they're going to pay and do this. And I think the Aggies, they won the national title this season. And I think they've won 3 SEC championships in a row. And women's tennis is good in the SEC too. There's not much that isn't good in the league at this point with what's going on.
Yeah.
Somebody is elite in it. But yeah, I don't know. I read it and kind of went, I'm not even
sort of
necessarily.
See that with the Olympics right now. A lot of SEC athletes in Paris.
Yeah.
Track, swimming, all of it. Yeah.
The dude from Texas that won a bronze last night, and I think the 100 breaststroke, he was pissed. Like, it's the most upset I've seen somebody winning a medal. He lost the gold by 0.07 seconds or 0.007, whatever. I don't know. Really, I think 0.07.
A lot to live with.
Yeah, he was really frustrated last night, even though he got the bronze.
I mean, that
it took him a minute to even like go over and do the shake hands thing with the guy who won gold. Like, you see, he turned around and was like, God.
Well, the amount of time that it takes. It's why the Riley Gaines thing, when people try to dismiss her, I'm like, you don't understand the amount of time that it takes in the pool
for everything to come down to a minute.
Yeah,
and the difference be just
a whisper.
Half a second in swimming is an eternity. Like everything's, yeah. But I just kind of watched it. He was like, oh.
Unless you're a guy swimming against girls, in which point it's a different deal. Yeah, of course. Because it helps being 6'5".
Well, it's a good point, though, with the SEC thing. It was actually the other point of kind of all this stuff we're talking about is the U.S. Olympic Committee has always benefited from the colleges taking care of these Olympic sports.
Yeah.
And they train them and they get them ready. And we're the only country in the world that does it like this. And every other country, the Olympic Committee finds and does this and has to fund this. And I saw the Olympic Committee person, or their marketing person or somebody higher up, I don't know. They gave a quote yesterday where they were like, oh, well, it's the envy of the world. It's a perfect system. And it's like, it is for you, dumbass. Like, you don't pay for it. And the point is, if this stuff starts killing Olympic sports at colleges, who's funding the players that are Olympic quality? Where do they go? What do they do?
It's a great question.
Are the Olympic committees going to suddenly take them in and do boarding schools and camps and things?
I guess that would be the model they'd try to develop, but I don't think that would happen overnight. Do you?
Well, no. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like Mackenzie Long, Ole Miss developed her to be in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
All the Arkansas track and field people, the Oregon track and field people,
Of course.
Texas swimming. I mean, that's
And they go to those places because they develop them for the Olympics.
yes. So the Olympic Committee just picks. They don't pay for anything.
Yeah.
I mean, Katie Ledecky is an assistant women's swimming coach at Florida right now. I mean, like, I just wonder, like, I don't know what happens because once this thing breaks up at all, somebody has to pay for that because you're still going to keep the Olympic model in to whatever extent. And I don't know. It's just it's another thing that is sort of fascinating. And yeah, I mean, Ben's got a good point. He goes, "What's crazy is these other countries' Olympians come to the U.S. colleges." Yeah, I mean the swimmer from France that's so good, he goes to school at Arizona State. So you're even developing other countries' Olympians, also in this. So I don't know, that's a part of it we probably don't talk about enough, but it comes around. It's in full focus here every 4 years. So podcast brought to you in part by G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area, and they offer MedSync, free prescriptions the same day each month, and take care of you. They also can transfer your medications easily. You make one phone call, they take care of the rest. 662-236-2222. That's in Oxford with G&M or Holly Springs with Tyson Drugs.
Get the beautiful, healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take the first step toward a better version of yourself. It's corinthdental.com. Are you a displaced corporate executive wanting to put your career in your own hands? Are you an experienced entrepreneur looking to diversify? Either way, Andy Ludicky can help. Andy's a longtime Rivals board member, a diehard college football fan, franchise veteran. He owns multiple franchises and businesses, uses his expertise to help others find their American dream through a very thorough and free consultation process. So call Andy, put your life and your career in your own hands. It's 100% free. Got nothing to lose. Find your perfect franchise at myperfectfranchise.net, Andy at myperfectfranchise.net, or 404-973-9901. I'll have a mailbag up hopefully tomorrow. It's presented by Art Hayes, Sotheby's International Realty. Are you thinking of making a move? Put the power of Sotheby's International Realty to work for you. As a licensed agent with Sotheby's and a supporter of all things Ole Miss, Art Hayes can help you buy or sell in your hometown or anywhere in the world at no charge to you. Seriously. So call and ask Art House, 612-805-5929, or email Art at Arthur, ARTHUR.Hayes, HAYS, at lakesmn.com.
Podcast is brought to you by Northeast Spark, NESPARC. They've got a couple packages for you: the Ignite, the 100 Mbps, or the Blaze. That is their 1 gig option, their fastest option to date. Your hometown team bringing you world-class broadband. That's nespark.com, 662-238-3159. Phone service, parental controls, network security, and much more. They even have wireless mesh extenders, so those who need a little extra help to get the best internet in Lafayette County, that's nespark.com or 662-238-3159. Speaking of the Olympics, saw this this morning. The 5 countries who have the most Summer Olympics medals all time since 1896. You can get them in order.
No, I would guess the U.S.
They were number 1, 2,629 medals.
Russia.
The Soviet Union, 1,010 medals. They're counting all that. I would have gotten 3 or 4. 4 or 5. I would have really struggled with one of them.
Germany.
That is the one don't know that I would have gotten. 5th, 655 medals.
Japan.
Nope.
Czech Republic.
Nope.
I don't know.
Number 4, France, 751. Number 3, Great Britain, 916.
Obvious, right in front of your face.
Yes. The English have 916.
I wouldn't have bet on the French. I just would have assumed they'd screwed something up.
Well, I mean, like one of the things, like the medal count is interesting because the teams that are going to stay kind of around the U.S. right now are doing it in swimming, and then later on the U.S. is going to dominate track and field too, where another set of countries is going to come in, and like you got to be good at both to really run the count up. It was a decent question to start, like, and I kind of think I agree. They always show total medal count when sometimes the gold discrepancy is very high. I think we should do a point system or something to kind of give an overall medal winner that gives more points for the gold than the silver and the bronze.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you'll see this, like, the fourth country, they're in fourth place, but they have like 1 gold and 19 bronze. And it's like, well,
so 3 for a gold, 2 for a silver, 1
fine.
for the bronze.
I'm good with that. Things that do not matter, even in
not even a little.
in all that's going on.
So that's going to be the international topic of interest. Hey, Godspeed, man. Sometimes I'm jealous of those people. No, I'm not. Sometimes I'm always kind of jealous of those people.
The U.S. says they have appropriate fear in their game against the South Sudan.
Stop.
What are we talking about?
Stop.
What are we doing?
Stop. They do have some interesting games coming up because the U.S. from a pace of play standpoint, I'm not crazy about what they're doing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, it's LeBron, AD.
You got issues with Kerr's coaching right now?
A little.
Who's the assistant? Spoelstra?
I think so. I mean, they've made the decision that they're going to build the team around LeBron.
Okay.
And it's a nod to his greatness, to his career.
Sure.
But when you go LeBron and AD and Steph and like Drew Holiday and Kevin Durant, I mean, in the international game, some of those teams are going to run you to death.
Mm-hmm.
That's an older group.
We'll see.
The U.S.-Canada game has a chance to be pretty interesting.
It does.
Because the Canadian team, they'll get up and
They're
down.
good.
They'll get up and down. They'll pace you to death.
It took this, I think, to get anyone talking about it, period. Did you say they had 13,500 people at Freedom Hall last night for the throwback Kentucky-Louisville game? You know, that TBT, that throwback tournament we always do. That might be what it stands for, throwback tournament. I don't even know. 13,500 and something for La Familia, which is Kentucky. 70-61 win over Louisville at Freedom Hall last night. Former players.
That's crazy.
13,000 people showed up at Freedom Hall for that last night.
They love their basketball, man.
Oh, I mean, and look, once you saw the teams that were being put together and then it was Kentucky and Louisville and they were actually using like reputable guys you would know of, yeah, set that bracket up. Hey, we're not missing this opportunity. They're not sitting all the way on opposite sides of this bad boy. We're not going to risk an upset. Yeah, they're playing.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah. It says that held in basketball, if Louisville and Kentucky are on the court, drama will likely ensue. That held true on Monday night it's the basketball tournament, not throwback, just the basketball tournament between La Familia, a team comprised of former Kentucky players, and the Ville, a team featuring former Louisville players, ended with a near brawl following a spitting incident last night. Andrew Harrison, who helped lead Kentucky to the 2014 and 15 Final Four, hit the game-winning three-pointer in La Familia's 70-61 at Freedom, Elam ending. I don't know what that means. At Freedom Hall in Louisville, the crowd of 13,000, double the previous record, blah, 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 for the winner-take-all $1 million tournament.
So they must have been going to 70.
Oh, Elam ending. Okay, is that what that means?
Yeah.
Okay. I did not know that was a thing. Onanuku, per video of the incident, told Sestina, don't do that again before he spat in his face.
Oh.
Emotions ran high, who confirmed that he had been spat at. That's what this game does to people. It had been great chatter the whole game, nothing crazy, nothing personal. Then it got personal, obviously. That's what this game is. Players from both teams began pushing and shoving one another as security officials and police officers stepped between them to prevent further escalation. It was the latest dust-up in the rivalry and then a bunch of stuff below that.
How about that?
Yeah, Nate Sestina had led all scorers with 22, embraced the Ville's Chinunu Anukwa. How do you pronounce his name? Pretty popular former player, but I'm having a hard time pronouncing his name.
I'll go with yours.
Who told Sestina to stop using the L's down gesture to mock Louisville at the end of the
we're
game.
getting upset about L's down.
I did enjoy the SEC basically telling Texas to kick rocks.
Yeah,
That horns down would not be a penalty.
Yeah.
Said that. Well, how did the guy phrase it?
Well, he
It
basically
was
said it's going to be officiated the same way the Gator Chomp is.
yeah, that's what he said because that's what it was. The two funny parts of this is the first funny part was the quote, and I guess I can go find it, but it's fine. I can not make it verbatim. Was something like if a reasonable person did not find it offensive, offensive in a normal situation, which apparently if you're walking to the grocery store and somebody goes horns down, you're not offended. Which I like that rule. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
And then two, it's Texas believing that horns down is this completely unique thing and no one else could ever have a thing because the guy was like, hey, we have this thing down in Florida that does exist from time to time. We've been here before.
Yeah.
Like, shut up.
Yeah. We've dealt with this.
Yes. But I know it's because they've been placated in that league for so long. I don't get why they take this so personal and why it's such an affront when it's not a 15-yard penalty if somebody just goes.
Well, it's like Sarkisian was like someone. I guess some of the Arkansas guys had asked a bunch of Texas questions, and he's like, maybe I think Arkansas hates Texas more than they like themselves. And Sam Pittman was asked that, and he was like, yeah. And it's like, hey, welcome to the league, guys. You're not well liked. Everyone's going to try to bloody your nose.
And you're not just going to walk through and get everything you want and everybody else is going. Because that's what, was it Saban who said that? He goes, hey, there are some arrogant people in this league. Like, good luck.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, I mean, you're walking into a league that already has Alabama.
Yeah.
It's got LSU.
Yeah.
It's got.
I mean, look, I'm spitting in my mouth as I say this. Tennessee might be the best all-around sports program in the country today.
Yeah. I mean, they're legit. Florida's got some titles in its history. I mean, there's a lot of arrogance in the SEC. Holy cow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot. Auburn thinks it belongs in that air.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm saying they think they do. And then in basketball, you've got, I mean, Kentucky's a blue blood.
Yeah.
You're not, what are you going to go up and get calls? Good luck with that. Let me know how that works out first time.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama right now thinks it's a blue blood in basketball, and frankly, kind of is.
Yeah, Tennessee's good every year.
Yeah, they're very good. I mean, Arkansas feels like it's a borderline blue blood in basketball, and in many ways, it kind of is. I mean, welcome to the league, fellas.
Yeah.
You're not going to be that special. And in the Big 12, with the exception of Kansas basketball, Texas was special.
Yeah.
That shit's over.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of like Oklahoma long term more than I like Texas. Oklahoma seems to sort of get it.
Yeah, they're embracing it in a different way. That's not.
Like Oklahoma looks at their schedule and go, this is going to be harder.
Yeah, 100%.
Texas looks at their schedule and goes, what's the big deal? We're Texas.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, that first time Texas goes to like Jordan Hare.
Yeah. I know.
You hadn't felt this.
Yeah.
And you go to LSU as a conference game.
Mm-hmm. Different.
Hell, when they come to Ole Miss, they go to Mississippi State.
Yeah.
You mean, in all seriousness,
well, you weren't wrong when you said they played Arkansas and looked up and went, oh my God.
Well, they did.
Yeah.
And that was it
was a mediocre Arkansas team.
It was a mediocre team, but that was a huge game on that campus. Like, it was an impossible ticket.
Yeah. I
mean, place was a zoo all day, and they were ready for them. I mean, they lit them up. You're going to get that all the time in the SEC. I was going to say, how big of a day is it in Starkville when Texas comes to Starkville?
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal.
It's a big day.
You don't think that'll feed into the kids?
Yeah.
Of course it will.
We'll let you know on the message board and wherever else what time we're getting started tomorrow. Again, we have football in the morning, so it's going to have to be a little different setup situation. You will get a podcast, but do not know exactly what that will look like yet. So we'll let you know on that one as we get that finalized. RebelGrove.com. In the meantime, remember, again, players report today. We'll get our first look at them tomorrow, and then the local media day tomorrow afternoon. So good bit of stuff coming over the next few days. RebelGrove.com as camp has arrived. So have a good day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.